Yeah, I think it's if we can have an honourable loss and take some positive out of that was probably it. Started so poorly, we just didn't touch the ball early. A bit shell shocked, I think. But I think after the 20-minute mark of the first quarter till half time, most of our indicators we won. Tackling probably didn't, but everything else. So we started to arrest it a little bit. We didn't show some reward for effort, but I think we're hanging in there, which was pleasing. And that's all we can do. You can ask for guys and hang in there and show some effort and show some spirit. And then we started to get some reward in the third quarter. And so that was pleasing. I think having so many young blokes and in the side to be able to maintain the rage, I suppose, was pleasing. But, against a quality side that's obviously been playing well, to be able to do that, and they scored the first after half time. It could have easily slipped away, but yeah. So from our point of view, there's a lot of positives, but we still didn't win. Just a little bit of composure at the inappropriate times in the last quarter just obviously hurt us.
Can you almost put that first 25 minutes down to the fact that you made 8 changes, so there might have been a little bit of lack of continuity or something?
No, you don't get your hands. You don't touch the ball just because you haven't played the week before in the seniors. I mean, obviously they were good at stoppages. I think their first 7 goals, they got 5 or 6 from stoppages. So they were very good at that. And we obviously tried to arrest that, which I think we did. Change that around, change some things, and then our mids started to get their hands on the ball. We didn't use it well, and slowly but surely in the third quarter we got our hands on the ball still, and were able to use it a bit more effectively. So, that was a pleasing thing. I think as a coach, you always, you preach persistence, and there's obviously game plans and all that sort of all the sexy stuff, but you preach hanging in there and you preach persistence, and I think that was a pleasing thing for such a young group, and I think it was led by the senior players, but I think it was a valuable lesson to be learned for our younger blokes today about even if not playing well, that you can still contribute, you can still make a meaningful actual contribution to the team. And have a look at Lukey Dowhouse, who didn't get a lot of the ball, but gee, his effort and his second and third efforts were fantastic, and eventually you can turn your form around if you do that.
What about Boyd's contribution?
Who's that?
Boyd. Yeah,
it was terrific, Matthew. Yeah, he was very good. He's had a very good year as a leader, and obviously at times I think maybe tries too hard. He sort of tries to inspire the side and win the ball, and at times maybe lets his man get a little bit first access to the ball at times in the past, but I thought today he was terrific. I think him and Murphy were really good as leaders today.
He'll be 10 premiership points off the pace of the Saints win tonight.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at.
16 available. Is that it?
As I said, as I indicated, I really haven't looked at the permutation combinations, and if that's out of our control, isn't it now? All we can do is win as many games as we can, and that's what I said 4 weeks ago. Even when we probably might have still been a chance there, we're probably a really outside chance at the moment. But yeah, it's just winning as many games as we can, and that's what we're about. And I think we proved today we haven't put the cue in the rack. Could have easily 7 down, or whatever it was at one stage, to 8 down to be able to drift away. But I think the guys' credit shows a fair bit of spirit within the group. They've trained well, their morale's been good, they're working hard, and we've just got to continue on with that vein for the next 4 games.
Have you given any thoughts about the last month of the season, and whether you try and introduce a few more players, or
if you name them, mate, I've got 10 under 20 games there, so there's quite a few there.
Yeah. I realise he's got the second most, I think, of the season already.
After Gold Coast, yeah. So they're always going to the most. I think we've had 8, and we played.
Change your mindset for the last month, or are you still all about? Obviously,
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think you can still win as many games as you can, and we'll play players on form. But having said that, if there's a line ball, we'll play a kid. So we've obviously played a lot of young lads today, and we have the past 8 weeks. But if there's a young lad that we think hasn't played a game at this stage, we might obviously give him a game. So that'll be a chance.
The way you played against Carlton 3 weeks ago, you looked like a top 5, top 6 team. Is there anything sensible happened in the last 3 weeks?
We played right today, you thought? Do you think we played that?
In the second half today. At the end of the day, you lost your last 3.
Yeah, I think in the first 25 minutes we're just going to go hand on the ball in the midfield. So I think our last 2 games, Coons has played with a real sore knee. Griff's really gone off the boil a bit his last 3 games, so we just haven't been able to generate enough midfield football. And you have a look at our stats from last week and even the game before, we just didn't generate our midfield surge as we had when those 4 games. So that's where the game's won and lost.
You say that if it's a line ball decision now in terms of selection, you'll put a kid in.
I've been doing that anyway.
So with the likes then of Cooney and Higgins, for example, with injuries, do you err on the side of caution more so than you want?
Oh, well, we have anyway. I mean, we did with Dale today. Dale had a push, might have been able to play, but just wasn't worth the risk. So Higo and Coons will probably be right next game. So by putting Cooney out to pasture is not going to improve his knee. He's not going to make it any better than what it is. If he has to have an operation, having it earlier is not going to make it him any better, and playing is not going to make it any worse. So that's our medical advice. So Adam now's got 2 weeks, got a bye next week, so I would think he'd be right to play. So if they're right to play, they'll play.
So is his knee ever going to get any better?
Say that again.
Is his knee ever going to get
You haven't read the news reports on it?
Or is it,
You're having a media man, Sam. You should know. To actually believe the media.
Well, I'm just saying your fortunes can fluctuate a lot depending on sort of what sort of shape he's been in this year. I mean, is that just going to be the...
Yeah, well, he's stuck with that. We might look at some alternatives overseas or something at the end of the year, and we're investigating that at the moment. But for the information we've got, there's not a lot we can do to improve it. It's just management. We just manage his knee, and there were some good periods and some bad periods as far as pain. So that's what we've got to have to put up with.
For the last few years, this time of year, that these guys have been gearing up for September, has their mood been the same as it was this time last year? And how have they managed that? You spoke with their role during training.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. I think if you come down to training and watch it, the blokes' spirits have been up. They've hung in together pretty well. We haven't played well at times, and that's the last couple of weeks have been down. But when you have a look at last week, we gave ourselves a chance to win in that last quarter. We missed a couple of easy shots. We weren't playing well, but we had over 100 tackles. So if you get beaten by 5 or 6 goals and you had 50 tackles, you'd say, well, is there effort there? But there was effort. So as a coach, you can't be critical if they're really having a dip. We didn't play well. And so that was a great indicator that they're still in the game, that they've still got their mind on the job, they're still working hard, which I know they are. And I think full credit to them. And if our minds weren't right, if they'd thrown the towel in and there's no morale, when we're 7 goals down, we'd lose by 17. Or a team would lose by 17, but they didn't. They got in front, so I think that indicates that it's a good group. They've got a fair bit of pride. They've got a pride in the club, and they're hanging in there. So that's all we can ask at the moment.
Did you get the feeling when they did hit the front that it almost like they spent all the petrol tickets getting there?
No, not at all. I think it was just obviously Cox helps, doesn't he? He's a bloody good player. And when you're 6'20" and you can run like a midfielder and kick and mark and do that, it's just a. But I think a couple of times, just a little bit of poise. We made a couple of little silly errors, which happens, but just a little poise at a time when we were in front. We just may be able to have a good thrust going forward, but we didn't. That's one. Then that goal Darling got was obviously a bit dubious, and so little things go against you.
I was going to ask about that. Are you able to say anything about? Did you see the free kick at all?
I didn't. I was watching the incident, but I didn't see the free kick. Is that what you're asking? So whether I was blind, I don't know. So I might have to get some clarification on that. But we can't get it back. If it's wrong, it's wrong. That's it. It might cost us a game, but that's footy. That's the way it is. And in a tight game like that, you maybe keep your whistle in your pocket. But anyway, that happens. And but as I said, I mean, there's some things that we needed to be better at, and a bit of poise. And that last mark, we should have been able to spoil as well.
How do you approach the bye now? Do you do anything different to how you approach it?
No, we haven't. We've pulled up pretty well, actually, but the guys, it's 16 weeks since we've had the other bye. So probably our first bye was 2 weeks too early, and this bye was 2 weeks too late. No, they'll have off till Thursday. They'll be injury clinic tomorrow and rehab, and we'll work through that, and then looks like everyone will be available. We'll get Dale back as well, so we'll get 3 good players back next game.